So the special cases, there's two of them. I'm going to write two notes just down here to remind you. Okay, two of them. You can have no solutions. So that's possible. And then you can have all solutions. All solutions. So kind of opposite to each other. Sometimes you see them put, or you used to see actually in the book, they'd say all real solutions. That just means it's a real number. How do you know if it's no solution? How do you know if it's all real? So basically at the end, you get something false. Something false. Such as 1 equals 2. Over here you get something that's true. 1 equals 1. So notice how there are no variables. So at the end of solving an equation that started with variables, you end up with something with no variables. It's one of those two conditions. So it might start off here like, what plus 1 equals what plus 2. And so what number, when you add 1 to it, is equal to that same number, but when you add 2 to it? That's what that's asking. And with a little bit of critical thinking there, you'd be like, well, it's impossible. You can't add 1 to a number, add 2 to the same number, and get the same answer. Not to the sense. You get the same answer when you add 1 to this, as if you add 2 to this. So, and then when you solve it, strike X on both sides, that's when you see both variables cancel out. And since this is false, you actually put a not equal. Over here, very similar. What happens if there's what number plus 1 equals that same number plus 1? So here, 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. Oh, 5 is an answer. But 10 plus 1 is 11. 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 equals 11. 11 is an answer. You can do this, and all numbers work. All numbers are a solution. If you did a check, everything works. And then if you actually show the work for it, that's when you see both variables cancel out. No variables means both sides of variables cancel out on both sides. That's a short version of when do you have a no solution, when do you have an all solution. One more thing I want to throw out there that is separate but sometimes confused. And that is this. What happens with C? Yeah, like 2x plus 1 equals x plus 1. And swim through and solve this. Put 1 on both sides, correct x on both sides. Okay. Constants cancel out, variables cancel out. So what is left on the right hand side if everything is canceled out? 0. 0 is left. And on the right hand side you have x. Okay. Sometimes you see people that will say, well, everything cancels out, so it's no solution, or it's all real. Well, if there's still a variable left over, as long as we have a variable left over, there is an answer, and the answer can be 0. So don't confuse a no solution when there's no variable with Well, it came out to 0. 0 is okay. 0 is still an answer. 0. Alright, so that's a good summary of everything you need to know. Basically remember, false, no solution, true, all these. Both of these, you have no variables. But if everything cancels out except for the variable, it can be an answer. So, for example, let's go to 2. Make sure we got this. Might have to do a little simplifying on the same side first. Like here, remember if they're on the same side, we'll go ahead and simplify that first. So it's 1 minus 4, negative 3k, plus 8. Variable on the right, cancel it out, positive 3k. Variable on the left. Oh, sorry, number on the left, 8. Okay. Still do all those steps all at the same time. When the variables cancel, variables cancel. So right away, since both sides of the variables cancel, it's got to be a no solution or an all real. Okay, and once you finish it up, 8 minus 8, 0. 16 minus 8. So there's no solution or all reals. No solution, because it's false. And 0 does not equal 8. So yeah, final answer is no solution. Another way of writing no solution is the empty set. That. That means no solution or empty set. Okay. As before, we have fractions, sugar properties, so it's a little bit of everything. Expect your quiz basically to be off of this worksheet, because this worksheet contains everything from previous. It just throws in the no solution and the all reals. That's the only thing different. You remember the last quiz and how that went. If you did your work and you know how to do it, you had all your steps shown, it was really good. If you didn't, maybe not as good, that's what you're able to put stuff in the calculator. So, yeah. Make sure you know how to do all these problems by yourself with no help. It's okay to ask for help, but eventually you have to know how to do them on your own. And do have all the work.